Baseball is dead. I just got off MLB Network. So I feel like whatever Red Sox toxins were in my body, I feel like I got them out already. So we can just talk ball. We can just talk whatever else you guys want to talk about. We got a few different subjects that we want to hit on today. Obviously, Paul Skenes dominating last night and still losing. That's got to be up there in terms of topics. If you've been following us for quite some time, or even just since last year when we did the Dinger Derby in Dallas, Texas, you would know that Connor, who runs our social, he won that quite handily because he went up against Dallas. It was kind of like a cookie cutter type run to the finals. And it was a pretty easy matchup once he got there. But we're going to do a little college baseball segment with him today, just because I feel like there's definitely a demo of, I know a lot of people care a lot about college baseball. It's just hard to keep up with Major League Baseball and college baseball at the same time. That's why we have Connor, who's going to keep us up to date on that. The Colorado Rockies, breaking news, have won consecutive baseball games. That's something that we're going to have to talk about.
They've won a series, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah, they have a chance to go for the sweep today. They could go for the sweep today against the Miami Marlins. Yes. Yeah. Jack Caggs made his debut last night. Max Muncy got some eye surgery. We're going to talk a lot about different stuff today. You know what? I'm going to defer to Jayhay. Where would you like to start today's program, Justin Havens?
Let's lower it.
Oh, okay. Let's lower it because last night, Paul Skenes goes 8 innings. I want to say 3 hits, 1 earned, and it was a solo home run. And that was enough to sink his ship. How many strikeouts, Jayhay? 8?
8.
Yep.
8 strikeouts. Just dazzled for another big fat L. It's, it is what it is. It's that's that. All right. So let me ask you this question, Dallas, because obviously it's not affecting him, but this would affect most people, right? Like the fact that you're going to go out there and dominate knowing there's a better than 50% chance you're not going to win the game. Does that has to wear on most people mentally, but obviously it's not impacting his performance. He lowered his ERA right around 2. He's almost as good as Garrett Crochet this year.
There's a couple different ways that you can go initially. I mean, that's cute. He's better.
Statistically he's not, but go ahead.
There's a way that you try to find peace while you're preparing for what feels like inevitable failure. So for Paul Skenes, something I think that you have to consider is his overarching talent and where that could eventually land him. And I know that's getting way far down the road, but what I'm getting at is if you are the kind of talent that Paul Skenes is, and you know what your future could hold potentially, and this is thinking beyond the Buccos, it might be easier for you to just compartmentalize your individual performance and try to separate the team success and not allow the lack of team success to impact your individual preparation. So are we going to win this ball game? If I go out and do what I should, if I go out and do what I can, I feel pretty good about us winning this ball game. But ultimately, I don't hit, and ultimately, I can't do anything offensively. So all I can do is what I'm capable of. I control my controllables, and that's what Paul Skenes has done. So taking the baseball and feeling like you have to be perfect and feeling like you have to be pinpoint every time out, that's a very real burden to bear for a starting pitcher. But things get a little different and things feel a little different when you also harness or have the ability to harness the kind of stuff that Skenes does and run out and dominate to the extent that Paul Skenes can do so. So it's not a matter of a guy, like take a guy with my kind of stuff who's going out there trying to be pinpoint, precise, perfect in every way, right? I'm probably going to find myself in trouble more times than not pitching like that. Paul Skenes, however, has the stuff, and guys like him have the stuff. Their margin for error is just that much greater. So what am I really concerned with? Well, just executing the things that I am in control of. And from there, I understand, and Paul Skenes has already learned this lesson, I got to believe, that win, lose, or draw, if I take care of my business, Eventually things will take care of me. And that's all I can do. That's all I can focus on.
In Paul Skenes' last 4 starts, he's had half of those be 8 innings, 1 earned run performances, and lost both of them.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
If you're Paul Skenes.
There's nothing you can. I mean, like, that's fucking crazy, Dallas. 8 innings, 1 earned run twice in his last 4 starts. The Pirates lost both games. And that first one was a complete game. The 9th not necessary in this one. And so he didn't get the chance to go 9 or 10 innings if need be. But some of these games that the Pirates have lost with Skenes on the mound, it's quite astounding.
Well, he's in his Jacob deGrom era, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, those 2 starts that Jared mentioned, the 8 innings, 1 run, like the 2 losses that he and the Pirates have taken in those, they have 2. All of the other pitchers in Major League Baseball have 1 in 2025. So it's not like this is happening to everybody all the time.
No. I mean, and I think that's why it also grabs your attention, is because it's happening to a guy who, anytime you put together a line like that over 2 starts, you feel pretty good about walking away with a W. Like, you can almost book it. And no, that's just not, it's not happening.
Dallas, I have a question for you, actually. I know Paul Skenes is very competitive, so it's not easier to accept. I'm not trying to frame it that way, but is it maybe easier to compartmentalize, like we talked about, in this era than in perhaps previous eras, because the pitcher win isn't the end all be all, and I think everybody kind of knows that now. Like, is that a thing?
100%, Jayhay, because and look, this is where the business of baseball starts to run into and starts to collide with ultimately an athlete's desire to perform, and you want to win the ball game. And there's a lot to be said for a starting pitcher logging wins in this day and age. And it has been a thing for a long time, which is why starting pitchers and old crusty starting pitchers like myself try to remind folks the reason that the W means so much is because eventually what you have to realize is the starting pitcher that has been around long enough in this game to log the win has had to perform to a certain clip or at a certain clip to even be in that position. So if you got a guy who consistently over the course of a year is winning decisions and is factoring into winning decisions, you go back and you look at the body of work and you're going to go, fuck, man, this is 6, 7 innings, just about every time out. He's handing the ball to the high leverage guys at the end of the ball game, eliminating, some opportunity for any sort of surge offensively from your opponent. But the fact that ultimately we're no longer taking those numbers into the compensation conversations, whether it be arbitration or free agency, that does make it easier for you to digest being able. I mean, right? We talk about it with King Felix and his Cy Young, with the win-loss record the way it was. It's okay now that the starting pitcher is not racking up W after W, because you look at some of the other statistics and the other metrics that point to his success, right? Like we're paying attention. What's his K per 9? What's the K to walk? What's the whip look like? Like, what's the hard contact rate looking like? And if the end zone, the chase, those are all things that really tell you how a guy's gone about his business, right? FIP, like what are the things that he's controlling look like? So the win, ultimately, one of the last things that you can have an impact on as a starting pitcher outside of just being in the game long enough to record the win. You just, you're going to be assessed. You're going to be assessed through a different set of eyes. That's the whole idea. Is Paul Skenes are if you are a suitor or if you're a team that is interested in starting pitching in the very near future, and you're starting to put together a list of what the free agent market's going to look like this year, next year, 5 years from now, blah, 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 blah. Do you give a damn about how many wins Paul Skenes is coming to the table with?
No.
You don't.
No.
Not at all.
No, but I mean, a guy that, comes from the mountaintop of the College World Series to the Pittsburgh Pirates, I'm sure it has to weigh on him that he's not winning. It has to weigh on it, like the idea, like if you're such a fierce competitor and you're also one of the most talented people in the world at what you do, that you're thinking to yourself, well, sure, it must be difficult to win games with the Pittsburgh Pirates because they're so bad, but like if I go out there and I just dominate, then we have no choice but to win. And he's doing that and they're still losing.
Yeah. And again, there's nothing you can do about that outside of go out and take care of your business every time you have the baseball. And he's already thought about, I promise you, what these kind of performances look like if they're happening in other places.
Jay?
It's crazy how quickly the conversation has now become like almost meme worthy with like, oh, the Pirates let Paul Skenes down again. Like everybody was ready for it and he delivered the start and they lost. And it's just like, it's amazing how quickly like this is the narrative around the situation instead of the optimism that I think reigned last season. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, what I was going to say, Jayhay, is I think it's going to be an interesting back and forth. And I think Paul Skenes is eventually going to just sort of come out and say it, or it's going to be understood that he's not going to give you the Mike Trout treatment, meaning there's not going to be any sort of I want to win here type of vibe, because he will, in my opinion, this is going to play out over the life of his pre-arb, and on the way to free agency. And who knows what the newly bargained collective bargaining agreement looks like, and who knows what that reflects, and who knows if that impacts his entry into free agency, if that moves things up a little, who knows? But all of that to say that I got to believe that Paul Skenes is watching how things are going from a business perspective, and will have these years to look back on and go, well, if the team wasn't supplemented at any point in time during my arrival and during all of the seasons that have led up to this point where I'm now entering a potential free agent market, why would I even consider what they have to say to me about what the future could look like and how they're going to build? Like, why would that even be a thing?
Quick nug.
Please.
First pitcher, since this ties back to Jared's, the reference of those two starts specifically that Jared led off the segment with. Paul Skenes is the first pitcher since Pedro Martinez in 2000 to lose twice in a season in starts of 8 or more innings, 1 or 0 runs, 1 or 0 walks, and 8 or more strikeouts. So I know the pitcher win loss doesn't matter or whatever, but it's not just his team taking the losses here. He's hanging the L's in these starts, and I don't know. It's just 25 years since anybody's. Well, he's zoomed past DeGrom in these sorts of conversations, which is kind of
what will be it'll be interesting to look at the end of the year, and maybe even over the course of his first 3, 4, 5 years, is the metrics, or I guess some of the statistics in his losses. Like what's his collective ERA in losses, right? What's his WHIP in losses, like shit like that. And you're gonna go, what? Like he lost these games? Like that's the body of work, and he's lost these games?
Yeah, he might have a case for like the best losing pitcher of all time. Next to Pedro.
It's gonna be crazy.
As of right now, his ERA in losses in his career is 3.13.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to lose if you sign up for the Underdog Fantasy app. I know that. That I can guarantee you. That's an automatic win just by having it. Download that Underdog Fantasy app. And I would say if you want to like really, if you've got that, like, I need that adrenaline, that rush of like, oh, this is a little risky, then run with Dallas's picks. If you want something that's more on like the safe side of things, if you like money, my picks are available as well. I have put out some picks today. Dallas usually takes longer because his brain is a lot slower. My picks usually get to Jayhay around 9 a.m., so I'm able to put those on social media a little bit quicker. Whereas like Dallas, he's like,
is asleep.
I don't know. Like I think like
Dallas is asleep.
Yeah, no, Dallas. Well, I mean, wake up, dude. Wake up.
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I mean, we can go back to the statistics about Stockton and how like no one graduates like middle school, never mind high school. But yeah, all that to say, my picks are probably better than Dallas's picks. But if you want to take both of them, that's fine. Like we both put them out on social media every single day. Had to teach Uncle Dallas how to use Instagram yesterday, which
Buddy,
was,
who nailed it? I had
honestly,
the first pick up there.
Shockingly thought that it was going to have to turn into a FaceTime call with a visual explanation. Did not. I think he got by thanks to a great text explanation, which I did not think that was going to be enough to get Dallas to the finish line. But you can get to the finish line if you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. I've got 3 players in my pick'em today, and Dallas usually goes with like 1 or 2 and still loses somehow. He tends to stay on like the safer side of things, and
couldn't be further from the truth.
I feel bad. Like, you know, there was one time I was asleep. You know,
like
he talks about, I was asleep, blah blah blah.
Entries.
Yeah, there was one time where I was asleep, and I remember he texted me and he was like, dude, can I please get some of your picks? He's like, you know, just like, can you send me some of your picks and like I'll just use them as my own. Like I just need to win one. Like I can't have people thinking that I don't know ball. Like he's always saying that.
I don't know.
He's always saying that.
Are you aware of the kind of hurdles I have to clear just to get picks in? Are you aware of that?
I can't have people thinking that I don't know ball. You got to help me. You got to help me, J-Dog.
I'm sending 2 pick'em packs in at a time, and I got people just kind of, you know what? I'll take one from this one. I'll take one from that one. We'll put them together.
I don't know. It's sad. Yeah. It's sad.
I know.
Yeah. You think you know a guy, you know, you trust him, and
you find out a little bit more about a guy. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Dallas, question for you. Maybe you will guess this. You might guess this. Okay. So, you're not a Facebook guy, but on Facebook, I wake up every morning and I check Facebook memories. It's like on this day, you said this, or you did this, or you posted this picture, whatever. 14 years ago today.
Jesus.
So this is 2011. I said, and it's funny because I tweeted something similar this morning before I checked this. So here's what I tweeted this morning that connects to this post from 2011. I said, you know, things are bad when I usually hate day games, but was so excited to see that today was a day game so that I can literally do anything other than watch Red Sox baseball tonight. So today I talked about my hate for day games. 14 years ago today, I said, hate day games, off to Fenway with Mike Silva to see the pitching matchup of the season. Who do you think was on the mound that day? The pitching matchup of the season, 2011.
Ooh.
Red Sox, obviously, versus, I don't know.
What month was this? So it's June?
It's 14 years ago today. So
this was in June?
June.
God, I have no idea. David Price?
No. He wasn't even up yet. No, wait, yeah, he was. Duh, that was very dumb of me to say.
Yes, he
was. No, not David Price. This person's going to be mad that you don't remember how good he was in 2011.
Bruce Chen?
No, not Bruce Chen. You've already broken that man's spirit. Yeah, there's no coming back from what you've done.
I don't know. I got nothing for you. I have no idea.
He was on your team.
He was on my team.
He was on your team
in 2011.
2011. The last season of Dallas Braden. No. No, DB making 4 starts in 2011 before riding off into that podcast sunset.
I have no idea.
Trevor Cahill.
Dactyl.
Yeah.
Not Brett Anderson. Oh no, that was 2009.
Yeah. So 2011, apparently, based on where he was at and where Josh Beckett was at that day, pitching matchup of the season to that point in 2011, Trevor Cahill.
You know what's crazy?
Also, what?
I just, wow. I have just completely blanked that Josh Beckett and I were competing against each other at the same time, because I've just had this vision. This is what's crazy about getting old and not playing anymore
and smoking a ton of weed.
That too. I just don't even, like, I look at Josh Beckett, like I talked about it the other day, like his face was on the wall outside of the minor league stadium in Kane County where I was playing, right? So like the imagery of Josh Beckett, it just like he's in a Marlins uniform at the time. And I know I pitched against him, that he was on the team, but it's like, I don't know. I've removed myself. I forget that I played sometimes. I'll be totally honest.
Yeah. Yeah. You were
That's
on that
probably
team.
fair. I think a lot of people suffer from that.
What, forgetting that Dallas Braden played?
Yes.
Yeah. That's easy. It's an easy affliction.
Yeah.
To catch.
Yeah. But Trevor Cahill versus Josh Beckett. And it was a 14 inning affair.
Oof. You gotta remember, I was at home.
Well,
I was at home by this time. My arm had fallen off. I was done.
People are probably listening to this thinking Jared might have gone a little crazy, but a little bit of research is going to back him up here. Entering play on June 4th, 2011, the matchup between Josh Beckett and Trevor Cahill. Beckett was number 1 in the American League in ERA with a 1.80 through his first 11 starts, and Cahill was 6th at 2.31 through 12. So, in terms of matchups of the season, I mean, maybe a little strong.
It's up there. Well, it's up there. And it was a gauntlet of a game. I have no recollection of being at a 14 inning game where the Red Sox walked it off. I don't even know. Like, I looked at the box score. I don't know how they walked it off. I just know that they did in 14, and that the A's deployed both Craig Breslow and Andrew Bailey as relievers in this game. Yep. Yeah. And Papelbon. I think Papelbon stunk it up. Pap gave up fucking like 3 Ernies, only got 1 out. So a lot of real life crossover happening from this game.
Was that? I'm trying to think of when, because Cahill, I believe Cahill was an all-star, or was it the year before? I think he was an all-star the year before.
He got the nod this year.
I don't know. No, 2011.
No, he was an all-star in 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
He tailed, unfortunately, the rest of the 2011 season proceeded to not go quite as well for Trevor.
This was the game that pushed him off his path.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started a start or two before, but from the Boston start through the end of the season, Trevor Cahill posted a 5.28 ERA in 22 starts. No longer the matchup of the season.
Damn.
So you might have seen, I mean, I think you can credibly argue that you saw Trevor Cahill at basically the absolute zenith of his career.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah,
for whatever that means. Yeah.
Yeah. I was there when Trevor Cahill, all-star pitcher, fell off a cliff and never recovered.
I mean, he was on a 40 start stretch at that point of having a sub-3 ERA and coming off of an all-star appearance. And to Dallas's point, presumably well on his way to a second until the wheels completely fell off and he went, and he was basically, he was fine after that, but he was never that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember being at the winter meetings in 2019 at this little dive bar with Dallas, and we're drinking, me, Dallas, and like these other 2 guys. This one dude is like, he's really big. And I'm just like, this has got to be like one of Dallas's buddies from home. Like, we're in San Diego, we're in California. We're drinking for hours, and then he finally leaves. I was like, Dallas, who the fuck was that? He's like, that's Trevor Cahill, dude. I was like, that dude's slamming beers. He's like, yeah, you put him down. Yeah, Trevor Cahill just at the winter meetings getting after it in 2019.
What he is still one of my, I talked to Dactyl quite a bit. He is still one of my just all time favorites because his personality, because he's a very intelligent guy, like a very intelligent guy, but he is as dumb as it gets sometimes too. And that he's just a beautiful human because he doesn't let that get in the way of him just being him.
I mean, he was a great guy before I knew he was Trevor Cahill, but then once I realized it was Trevor Cahill, I really liked him, you know?
He is a peach. Like one of like that was when I look back at my career and I think about like teammates that I was having a lot of fun with. I mean, I was friends with a lot of the guys on my teams. But like the time spent with Cahill and Brett Anderson together, just bringing them up and watching it. Like,
do you remember when Brett Anderson got mad at me?
For oh fuck.
I can't remember I can't remember what milestone it was. It was like maybe it was either like a service time milestone or it was like a career start milestone. It was something like that. And it happened in Boston. And I was in Boston for the weekend. This is when I lived in New York. And he was like, let's grab a beer. And I wanted to go and like celebrate it with him. But I had plans. I was only, if I lived in Boston, then it's like, I can do this. Like I can just like break plans and do this. But like, if I'm only home for the weekend and I got shit lined up, I was like, I can't do it. And
he's like, never again, again. Tell him don't ever even fucking look in my direction. Don't tweet me. Don't.
Which I respect. For shit. Yeah, I respect that. But he got mad at me for that, and I was like, I don't know what you want me to do, man. I'm sorry.
And that's why I love Bert, is because him and I are a lot alike in that respect. Where, brother, you have a ton of opportunity until you don't, and then from there, like you might as well, like you're just a memory. You're gone.
Yeah.
Like don't even cut off. Completely gone.
I want to say we've patched things up since then. But he has not invited me to get a beer with him since then. No. So
yeah.
I feel like that was a one-time opportunity. I hope whatever it was that I had to do that night was worth it.
I hope so.
Yeah. That feels like a
miss.
The fact that I don't remember what I had to do or what plans I made, like it wasn't
that's
memorable enough means that I made a mistake.
Yep. That's all right. Brett won't forgive you, but he'll be glad to hear that you have made peace with it internally.
Yeah. Yeah, I've moved on. Sounds like we need to move on from the Red Sox season. Alex Cora's comments last night.
What a goddamn disaster.
All right, relax, dude.
What a disaster.
Yeah, I agree, but like you can't say that. I can say that. You can't say that.
No. It is a disaster. And why? I honestly feel.
Haven't you lost 8
bad.
straight?
Buddy, you don't want to. You want to come down to the depths of despair? Is that where you want to come? Because I can reach all the way up to where your shitty baseball team is right now, and I can bring you on down with me if you'd like.
How many games apart are we? That's what I really need to be afraid of.
All you need to know is you've only won 3 more baseball games than we have during this god-awful stretch that we have been on since May 13th.
Oh,
that's all you need to know.
Oh, the bad news. The gap is down to 5.5 games.
5.5, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
The fact that like there's only 5.5 games of separation between the Red Sox and the A's when you guys like win 1 game a month is crazy. It's crazy.
Buddy, do you know what it's like? Do you know what it's like to have a conversation one day where you're going, oh, we're right there. You know what I mean? We're able to put this together, and we're in the lead. Like we got the division. We will be there. We're the team at the top. When you're looking at the standings, it starts with A's and then everybody else filters in. Why does that happen? Because you're in fucking first place. We were having that conversation. We haven't been able to have that conversation for almost an entire month. 20 days have gone by. 20 fucking days. You want to know how many post-game interviews I've done in 20 days?
How many?
Fucking one. One.
Isn't that what you want, though? You kind of want to get home early, or?
I'd like to talk baseball. I'd like to talk baseball. That would be fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it.
Nick Kurtz is in my pick'em today. He's doing well.
Why would he be in your pick'em?
He's hitting well against righties.
Nick Kurtz has to be available.
Oh, he's not available? Is he not available?
Might want to double check that.
What happened to him?
Unless what do you mean?
What are you saying?
What happened? He got hurt.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
All right, so then he's not my pick'em today.
Yeah, Nick Kurtz.
Not submitted yet. So
yeah. Okay.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you've been watching baseball. Yeah, Nick Kurtz.
I don't know that I've been tuning into a lot of A's baseball recently. If I have the option to watch the A's or go to sleep, I'm sorry, I'm going to sleep.
You've been watching losing baseball either way. So
yeah, imagine being in a position where you're probably one of the only people who realistically would roll over watching a full Red Sox game into a full A's game. And if you have the opportunity to not do that, I don't know that there's many people that are like, yeah, it's a wise decision to watch both games. No,
I mean, from a mental health perspective, I don't know if you're doing yourself any favors. I can tell you that right now.
Well, that's why this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, brother.
And without them, I don't know how many of us make it through the early part of this baseball season.
Yeah, truly. Think about your favorite leaders, mentors, and idols. They don't have all the answers, but they do know when to ask questions or seek support from their community. In a society that glorifies hyper-independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better when we have a support system that is behind us. Therapy can be a source of support for any area of your life. It's time to shift focus from, quote, doing it all to knowing that we're better when we ask for help. Dallas, we need to get you in online therapy. I've been in online therapy for quite some time now. Find it very, very, very beneficial. It's just part of my routine. I make time for it, even if I don't have time.
It's cool. We got the team psychologist.
Oh, you have a team one. Yeah.
Yeah, I just get to yell at him.
You can do a little in-person sesh. That's nice. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient. Serving over 5 million people worldwide, access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/baseball today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/baseball. Jayhay, you had a thought?
I had more a thought about Caglianone really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Were you guys aware? It's now become well known, but were you guys aware that that his first name, quote unquote, is just the initials of his name?
No.
His name's Jeffrey Allen Caglianone.
I did not know that.
So he's just going by his.
He's going by.
So what? So
shouldn't he just be Jack then?
So I was going to say, shouldn't it be Ja Caglianone?
Ja. I think once Ja Rule ruined the Jaws, I don't think that anyone.
Well, I mean, between Ja Rule and Ja Morant, I don't know how much positivity is floating around the Jaws. I mean, maybe Jaws done a 180. I don't know.
Yeah.
Take back the jaw at this point.
I mean, I got to believe if he's a sizable fella. he could have. He could
beat up both guys.
What are your guys' middle names?
I'm not revealing that.
Okay. What? Tom?
I know Dallas's middle name.
Your middle name's Tom?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, well, if it's a vowel, it works for both of you. Mine is not, so mine doesn't work, but.
No.
Like if Jared's nickname was
Jared Bartholomew Carabas.
No, that wouldn't work.
No,
it wouldn't.
No.
Dallas's.
What's your shitty middle name?
My shitty middle name?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And all due respect to any family member that may have gotten lumped into that with you.
I hit Dallas's middle name is named after like an Asian martial arts expert. Like that's who his middle name is.
Yeah. Packs a fucking punch, pal.
Yeah. It's crazy.
A 3-finger punch.
Yeah.
Or a 5-finger punch.
My middle name's Paul.
Paul. Oh, after who?
Not Paul McCartney, but I did tell people that growing up.
Hey, Paul, I got this sweet tattoo. I want to No, thanks. All good here.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be tough.
Hey, Paul, I was actually... Nobody fucking cares.
I was outside your house, Paul. You actually inspired me to build a giant wall with a big wooden gate outside of my house, Paul. Saw your setup. Looks pretty sweet. Dallas's middle name.
So you just go JP. I mean, that happens all the time.
It's Lee.
Yeah, Lee. I have a
Glib. So that'd be like if your name was Glib Braden.
He is kind of a delib.
Someone once told me that I have like I have an assassin's name. Not an assassin, but a fucking you know what I mean? Like Lee Harvey Oswald, the 3 names, Dallas, Lee, Braden.
Oh, I thought you meant like an in the night assassin. You're talking more like kind of a crazed lunatic assassin. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Dallas. Dallas Lee Braden. Yep.
Dallas Lee Braden. Yep. That's
Glib.
He's a Glib.
His friends called him Glib.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Jay, what was yours be?
Jenna. I mean, it's hard with the H, right? Because my middle name's Noble.
Yeah.
Noble?
Yeah,
Noble.
That's right. Noble.
Like, is this named after someone, or they were just trying to give you an adjective?
I think they looked into my eyes and they saw the sort of man that I was going to become, and sort of like the sort of kind of community pillar. And I believe that they nailed it, as it turns out. But no, it's a family name. Used to be a last name.
They looked into my eyes.
I don't know why, Jayhay, but I can see your grandfather just going like this. It's Noble.
Yeah,
Noble is what it is.
That's the sort of man he'll be.
Yeah.
No, that's my dad's middle name. It was my grandfather's middle name, his father's middle name, and it is my daughter. It is my daughter's middle name.
Yeah. See, that's what happened to me with Lee. It was a generational thing, and fucking here you go.
I'm not doing any of that shit.
What does that mean?
If I have
giving
a kid,
a middle name or making it like legacy, like
no legacy.
What do you mean if? So are you disowning your children right now here live?
Well, he hasn't been given the opportunity to provide a middle name yet. I'm assuming
you can
right?
legally
I was
change
not
names.
I was not involved in the naming process.
You can change names.
Changing a middle name at what, 13, 16, however old they are, would probably be a bizarre move, right?
I don't know. Make an impact, man. Come on.
That's
Just
true.
slap-
or
Carabas.
we could add a middle name. No.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just
Like
throw that in
Sadan
there.
Rafaela has like 5 middle names. Did you know that?
We should get a little bit more liberal with just throwing some kind of homage names in there, right?
Sadan, Chipper, Nicasio, Marte, Rafaela.
So he's named after Chipper Jones, Juan Nicasio, Starling Marte.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that I found out that the girl I was dating in high school had like 5 names. I was fucking blown away.
Did you not see the clip where Milky thought that women don't have middle names?
No, I missed that one.
What?
What do you mean,
brother?
They don't have middle names.
He thought it was just a guy thing.
What?
Brother, that's why I'm telling you right now. He's going to make the most money on Cameo because people are just
he thought
going
this
to
was gender related and not like culturally. And
all right.
I'm having a hard
Is this
time.
the right clip? I hope this is the right clip.
I brought it up to the register, but when I got
Oh
to
no,
the
wrong
register-
clip. I think.
So
This is where he didn't know how to use a register.
Yeah, this is where he was like, because I used to work at a grocery store, so that means I can just like eat the salami. Be like, yeah, I used to work at a grocery store.
Can I, while he looks for that clip, can I do an aside now that we stumbled onto the register thing? I mean, listen, I love the grocery store that I go to. I am brand loyal to the grocery store. I travel 22 minutes to get there.
wow.
The scam that grocery stores have perpetrated on the American
Self-checkout.
person with the combination, yes, self-checkout and the bringing of your own bags. The combination of those two, where not only like whatever, when they first instituted the bag thing, whatever, I didn't really care.
I found
But like the combination of you must bring your own bags or you will pay us for the bags, and you will bag your own groceries while one of our employees basically stands there and watches you, is an astounding turn of events from where we were not a decade ago.
Well, this is how business has parsed itself down. I can pay
It's
one
disgusting.
person.
I know.
It's
I get
and watch
disgusting.
all of
I
you.
understand business efficiency, but you are literally working at the grocery store at this point. Like, I've had an actual employee of the grocery store, not the register, not the person doing the register, a separate employee stand next to me while I bagged my own groceries, and that person was on the clock. They weren't leaving, they weren't arriving, they were just at the store. And I was like, I didn't have the energy to be like, what are we doing? But I wanted to be like, because I was with my family, whatever. But I was like, what are we doing? What are you doing?
I dug my heels in on that front a long time ago, where I treat it
of
this
course
way.
you would. Yes.
If I have items that I can quickly breeze through and I'm not requiring a bag or whatever, sure, self-checkout, see you later. But if I'm standing
This
in
isn't
line.
self-checkout. This isn't self-checkout. This is the full service checkout with the register person. I'm giving it to the person. They are passing it down the line, and I am standing at the end and bagging my own groceries. I'm with you on the self-checkout for 4 items.
No, I'm telling you
I'm
right
talking
now.
about a $300 grocery bill.
Well, quit being a soft bitch and tell the individual who's ringing that shit up that you want to know what your job now is when you're done with this is to bag it up. I am sorry. And I feel bad for you that you right now have to, and then when we're done with that, you got to walk 2.5 feet over here and then you got to bag it all up. I'm sorry. The best I can do as the consumer, though, is take the bag that you have then filled and I'll put that in the bag. And then I'll reach back over and I'll grab the next bag that you have filled and I'll put that one in the bag. We'll make this a team effort.
Dallas. Yeah.
We'll make this a team effort. But I'll be goddamned if I'm going to sit there and, like you just said, Jayhay, do that job. Nay.
I
Self-checkout
I basically just get mad and stew about it on the way home. That's how that works. And I bag my own groceries.
Yeah, because what they'll tell you is no problem. I can take my time. You see that line? That line ain't going nowhere. And neither am I. I'll be here for the next 7 hours. I got to work this shift too. Okay, so then you know what? You work it how you want to work it. And if you don't need help at the end of your line here and you want to run all these groceries through and then you bag them individually, fantastic. As a consumer, like I said, what I can do is I can help you out on the back end. You bag them and I'll rack them and then I'll take them home.
Anyway, here's the Tyler Milliken clip.
I didn't know women had middle names. I didn't know that was a thing for them. I've never met one.
Women have middle names.
I thought that was a guy thing.
Very unbecoming of any broads out there with multiple names.
I mean, you got a girlfriend, T.
She doesn't have a middle name.
She doesn't have one. It's just Martha.
What, we're doxing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jake.
You should take her last name, T.
I'm open to everything.
We know.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we've seen it. You freak.
What? That is the most preposterous statement I have ever heard.
Well, think about it this way. Like, he has his girlfriend, Martha. That's the woman of his dreams. It's the only woman he's ever loved. And she doesn't have a middle name. So in his brain, it computes to all women do not have middle names. She is the only woman to him.
Martha.
Yep.
Martha, who shall remain middle nameless.
Yes. Yep. That's our Milky.
Man,
Very narrow focused. Very good at the focus. Narrow focused, though, right?
Yeah.
just to not even concern himself with the idea that another human being.
Well, it's less that he didn't concern himself with it, because why the hell would he care, right? But like that his assumption then was that because I've met one person without a middle name, everybody has, or all of those, that sex doesn't have a middle name, that gender, whatever. Like it.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like
that's the weird brain part for me.
The day that he has a conversation with one of his Mexican friends and finds out that Mexican people have 4 names, 5 names at times, like, would he then feel slighted? Like, hold on, why don't I have 5 names?
Yeah.
Why don't I, like,
there's a whole world. There's many worlds that Milky
I don't get it.
Hasn't yet tapped into.
Holy shit. That's
Poor
incredible.
bastard. I get it though. Remember when we were in elementary school, like before we like experienced the world or even ventured outside of our own town, and we just thought that all the things that we were accustomed to, like that's how it is everywhere. That's kind of Milky in a nutshell in this situation, in this exercise.
In life, it
Mhm.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Anyways, Clayton Kershaw, he went yesterday against the New York Metropolitans and went 4 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, but only 3 of them earned. Did give up a bomb, walked 3, and only punched out 2. I didn't get to see a ton of this start. I did watch his previous start against Cleveland, and it's just, and in that start, he went 5 innings and only allowed 1 earned run, only struck out 3. It's just like he's now in his, I don't know, who am I thinking of? It's not his Jamie Moyer era because he's far too young to be there, but it's kind of like I don't know what the comp would be, where it's like, you're still going out there with the stuff that he's in his Dallas Braden era. He's going out there with his stuff where he's not going to blow you away. He still has some, I guess, tools in the shed that he can go to, but it's not what you're accustomed to seeing from the guy. And it's not that it's sad. I don't think it's sad. I think it's more admirable that he's going out there getting outs for the Dodgers rather than being like, oh, the Dodgers don't want me. I could go get more outs for the Reds, I guess. Like, if I really don't want to retire, like, I guess I could go to Pittsburgh. Like, they'll give me, like, he's not doing that. I think it's, as long as the Dodgers are willing to give me a jersey, I'm going to take it. As long as they're going to send me to the mound, I'm going to try to get outs. But I don't think he's going to Brett Favre it. Like, if the Dodgers were like, hey, I mean, obviously the Dodgers are never going to come to him and suggest retirement or anything like that. That's going to be a Clayton Kershaw decision. But I don't know. They're just going to keep letting him get outs until he feels like he can't anymore.
He's 24 strikeouts away from 3,000.
Well, it's going to take the entire second half to get there,
buddy. And if you just mental health check, where am I at right now in how our season is going on this side of the country? I am at a come home and watched all the condensed baseball games. That's where I'm at. Oh, I'm going to watch other baseball. And I watched that outing. I watched his game, and it just, look, man, I'll be completely honest. It is admirable. I don't want to watch it because I don't want this to be like the lasting memories, and they're not going to be for me because I had a front row seat to watch this dude do what he did his entire career, and he's still going. And the fact that he is still able to take the baseball and be even mildly competitive for me is extremely impressive. But I don't know, man. I don't want to. This is a dude who is like, for his entire career, the numbers have just gotten better every year, right? His career numbers are only impacted positively every year. And that is really tough to do, man. That is really hard to do. And we are at the point now where it feels like just as far as his stuff and how competitive it can be could very well start to chip away at that, where some of the career numbers at the end aren't going to look the way that they would if he indeed didn't pitch through this era. And if he were able to just sort of take it as it is and move on. Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, Clayton Kershaw will absolutely have to be yanked off that mound. But I hope he's able to get to that point where it's 3,000 strikeouts and he feels good about what he's done. I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't. But
his strikeout totals so far 2, 1, 3, and 2. So Jayhay, can you math it for me? Like how many starts at that average? Like how many more starts would it require for him to get 24 strikeouts? He's on like a 2.5 strikeout pace.
Well, I mean,
he's going to need 15.
He's averaging literally 2 strikeouts. He has 8 strikeouts and 4 outings. So,
okay.
Yeah. So if we want to just if we want to do it that way, 24,
12 more starts.
12 more starts. So
yeah.
That's the entirety of the rest of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm serious. Wouldn't it be like?
Yeah, just about. Like, well, I mean, there's probably
he's probably making what, like 4 starts a month, 5 starts a month if he's healthy. Like if we I don't think we can assume perfect health for Clayton Kershaw, perfect availability. I think if he were to average 4 starts a month for the next 3 months, I feel like that would have to be considered a health win for him, right? Am I being crazy with that?
No, and this is where, and I was thinking about this last night as I was watching this, is as he gets closer to that number, does he start to physically try to ramp things up in an effort to get there? And does that hinder him? Because if the health has been what it's been, really trying to reach back and grab a fastball, really trying to finish a curveball, really trying to finish a slider, like does just the energy that's going to require for him at this age and to do it consistently throughout his outing, trying to achieve what he's trying to achieve, could that be something that impacts him? And again, I pray to God it doesn't.
Well, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just because I want him to get there.
Well, and I feel like the potential for his performance to be so underwhelming as to make it a difficult, and the Dodgers, like whether they're battling for the division or whatever they might be like they're going to probably be battling a little bit more than they maybe anticipated or we anticipated. Like I hope it doesn't reach a point where they have to make a decision that the pursuit of 3,000 strikeouts is damaging our pursuit of our team goal, and to a point where we just can't entertain it anymore. Because it's not like
brother.
It's not like 3,000 is going to be the defining career achievement of Clayton Kershaw, but it is something that he wants.
They want to put on a t-shirt.
They want it. He wants it. We all think it would be cool, and it's frankly not going to be happening much more. So like, let's go for it. But it does seem like 8 strikeouts in 4 appearances is what it is. Like you don't have to say a lot more than that.
No. Yeah. And that's why, like I was saying, like I just felt bad. I feel bad watching it because I know how competitive he is, and to know that he has probably already acknowledged that he is nowhere near the stuff guy that he once was, and is still going out there trying to figure out a way, like through guile and intelligence, trying to make pitches and compete.
I mean, the way we're talking about it, it sounds like he's going out there going 2 1/3 fucking 7 earned. Like it's not that bad. It's clearly, to your point, Dallas. Yes, it's not vintage Clayton Kershaw, but he had that one shit start. I
mean, 2 of the 4 have been not acceptable starts, and one of the other ones was 2 innings. So
the first, yeah. So it's like, all right, put it this way. Let's throw out the fact that it was a start. His first start, 4 innings, 5 earned. Since then, he's thrown 11 2/3 innings, 12 hits. So yes, that's not great. 6 walks, that's not great either. But it's a 3.09 ERA.
To me, I'm looking at all of the not even peripheral numbers, just like the hits and walks and strikeouts, and it's like that's just not. It's nice that it's happened over a 3-start stretch, but it's 11 2/3 innings, and it doesn't look like anything that's going to last.
So all right. So that's my point. Is you
Jared,
are talking about you're forecasting. You're saying
A
that
little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're forecasting. I'm simply saying that the results are actually not that bad.
Yes, but
I
you're
think
also cutting off
doesn't look
25% of his season.
It
to
doesn't
do
look
that.
great. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look good. But
I want you to be right. I'm not arguing
I don't even know that I said anything worth being right. I'm not saying he's going to sustain
You're
it.
right. You're right.
I'm not saying he's going to sustain a 3 ERA if he makes 12 more starts. I do think. All right, here's my take.
A 3? What do you mean a 3? He doesn't have a 3.
No,
I
he's
just
saying
said
that's what
that.
it is over the last 3 starts. Throwing out start 1. Yes.
If you throw out start 1 from the remainder, it's a 309.
And then take the 2 innings for the work.
Right.
Shut the fuck up, Dallas.
Well, I'm getting fucking dumber listening to this right now. Here's the question.
No. Let me get my take off.
Oh, please.
Here's my take. I believe that Clayton Kershaw can get to 3,000 strikeouts without being a total detriment to the Dodgers. That's what I believe.
Sure. But
Okay.
there's, and look, the sweet spot that you're in right now with that take is they need live bodies.
Mhm.
They need people to throw the baseball for them. Kershaw is one of them right now. So that's a possibility. And that's why it's a possibility, is because they need arms. They need pitching. And Kershaw's there. And I think it's understood that what the offense provides, if Kershaw can compete and give you at this point what the numbers tell us, 4 innings, 5 innings, and they can find a way to patchwork the rest of those outs on his days, then yes, Jared, that is an option. But what it starts to become and what you're starting to run into is almost a glorified bullpen day. Because if the guy starting the game for you is probably more realistically going to give you 3 to 5 competitive innings, I mean, you can call that a starter.
That's that's the fucking Red Sox, baby. That's what we do. We go 4 2/3 and we hand it off to the Pens so they can burn out.
Yeah, well, that's
Red Sox bullpen has like 50 more innings than the next closest team. That's why we're hot right now.
And I can tell you right now from watching that same thing unfold on this side, Jared, there's not a ton of success to be had in that approach.
Mm-mm.
Not a ton. It is a daunting task to try to win baseball games like that. But let me ask you this, and I hot take. It's not a hot take. My answer is no. And here's the question. Do you think Clayton Kershaw has ever had a 4-start stretch in his career where he's walked more players than he struck out?
Ooh, no, definitely. Like, I don't even have to think about that. No.
Because that's where he's at right now. 9
Yeah.
walks, 8 strikeouts. So just think about that. Over the entirety of his career, has there ever been a 4-start stretch where he has walked more batters than he has struck out?
No,
And
I
I
can't
think we
imagine
all
that's a thing. No.
very quickly arrive at no.
Yeah.
So that just, go ahead, Jay.
I found an even one. I found 14 and 14, 14 walks, 14 strikeouts, the second, third, fourth, and fifth starts of his entire career. And that doesn't even satisfy your question, but that's I think as close as we're going to get.
It's been.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So yeah. So his first time in the big leagues to now, and it's been a pretty chunky career.
So again, I'm not trying to sit here and say that it looks good or that the results are satisfying. I'm just trying to put out into the universe, just let him get to 3K and then let him ride off into the sunset.
Well, I think
don't pull the plug. Like, so I on a smaller scale went through something similar over here. Same year, I believe it was 2011, with Tim Wakefield trying to get his 200th career win, and it took him like 6 or 7 tries. And this was while the Red Sox were kind of falling apart there at the end, like the September collapse and all that. So he got there, thank God, because what a moment it was to be there that night. But there was, you're having those difficult talks on sports radio and whatever else when it's like, do we go for 200 again, or do we pivot and try another option. But the thing about the Dodgers is they're not going to be in this position of we need to seek alternate routes because we might miss the playoffs. Like they're not going to miss the playoffs. They're probably not going to lose the division either. It's just,
so now it becomes a situation where I don't know if I think we all might have a good idea of what it looks like at the end here, but if you're the Dodgers and you've nursed Clayton Kershaw along to get to this 3,000 mark and you are competitive, you're heading to the postseason, where does he fit in?
I don't think
if he's
he
pitching
does.
like this.
Right. I mean, and so now that difficult conversation on sports talk, like time to have that. And
So,
and
again,
that's like,
I go back to the same guy, Tim Wakefield, 2007. He took himself off the playoff roster. He was like, I see the writing on the wall. I want there to be a better arm here. Like, don't put me on the roster just because I am who I am here. Like, I think respect would have gotten Tim Wakefield on the roster, but he was like, I volunteer to not be on the roster so that we can go and win the World Series. I'm not saying that everyone has the, I guess, awareness of a Tim Wakefield. And I don't know if Clayton Kershaw, I feel like he has kind of, it's not like he ever had this big ego. So I don't feel right saying he's humbled himself because I don't think he really ever needed to be humbled for as great as he has been in his career. But it feels like he, in these World Series celebrations that the Dodgers have had, that like the last one he knows he didn't contribute to, he's still enjoying it, but he doesn't have this crazy ego to where he can't acknowledge like, I didn't do shit to deserve this, but this is an awesome time. If push comes to shove, I think Clayton Kershaw also has the character to be like, listen, don't feel bad for me if I'm not on this roster. If I'm healthy and there's a better option, go with the better option. Like I would much rather have the organization win a title than me just be along for the ride if I'm not going to be helping.
And that's where I think him being able to get to the mountaintop of 3,000 could ease his pain, as Terrence Mann once said. That could help.
Sure.
Can we just like pull back for a second and look historically too? Because obviously the Dodgers season and his pursuit of 3,000 like is interesting, but like, you know, we don't know when we're going to get this again, I guess is the way that I'll phrase it, because it's not that it won't happen, because Chris Sale's at an even 2,500, Cole's at 2,251. Those are the only guys who have any chance to do it anytime soon. But even those guys, you're like, oh, Garrett Cole's 34 years old. He's, 749 strikeouts away. He'll get there. Oh, maybe.
To 3,000? No.
Clayton Kershaw had 2,800 strikeouts through age 34, and we've seen the incremental at best progress that he's made since then. So nothing is guaranteed. Sale needs 500 and is in his age 36 season. So yes, he's still
one of those.
Yeah. So there you go. So there's an opinion, obviously a very informed one. I would say no. I think if I had to bet on those guys, but like, you just don't know when it's going to happen. And we've talked about the state of starting pitching as it exists now. Like you're trying to find a guy who, is in his 20s, who's somewhere worth noting on the all-time strikeout list. The highest ranked player age 29 or younger on the all-time active strikeout list is Dylan Cease at 1,094. And he's in his age 29 season. So he's at the absolute top of my parameters that I just said. The other names, I'm not cherry picking: Freddie Peralta, Jack Flaherty, Pablo Lopez. Those are the other youngest guys that are around 1,000. So like there's almost no hope for 3,000 if Kershaw doesn't get it and Sale and Cole don't remain healthier than I think people perhaps expect. So I'd like to see it for those reasons as well.
Yeah.
Well, that was just depressing conversation. But it won't be when he gets there this year.
I'll be pumped. I'll be very pumped.
I know you will. I know you will. I feel like I don't know how I became this guy. I feel like I become the Clayton Kershaw defender for whenever need be.
Him.
No. I'm saying like I remember
okay.
like in 2017. Remember the fucking battles with Dave over like his postseason acumen.
My only interaction with Dave at Clancy's wedding was arguing about Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what he had. He probably like was just putting money on him or something. Like there was no reason to be that angry about his postseason performances as a Red Sox fan.
Although I wasn't proven as right after the fact as I would have liked to have been.
Sure. Yeah. Agreed.
Clayton didn't really come through for the regression to the mean is in the way I would have liked.
No, he really didn't. On the subject of the Dodger baseball, Max Muncy got eye surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's cheating. The Dodgers probably have these like crazy like eye machines where it's like now they can see what's better than 2020? Can you get better than 2020?
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? 40/20?
No, better. Like 2010, 2012, 2016.
You can do that
Sure.
with surgery?
No, it's natural. I don't know about like enhancing the vision. I think you either have that, you are born with outstanding vision, and then it starts to wane, or I don't know.
My vision is impeccable. It's crazy. I've never needed glasses. I had glasses for like 6 months in my life because I worked in an office and the fluorescent lights in the ceiling. And then like they gave me like this fucking laptop for babies. It's just the combination of the lights and the small screen. I was like, oh, I guess this is it. Like 24 is when I start to go blind, and quit that job. And my eyes have been perfect ever since. It's crazy how that works. But Max Muncy, he's seeing great. Happy for Max Muncy. What did he just hit? He hit 2 home runs in that bludgeoning game against the Yankees. Yeah.
Months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before April 30th, he was hitting a $180 with a .531 OPS, 5 extra base hits, did not hit a home run in 105 plate appearances. But in the 118 plate appearances since fixing his eyeballs, he's hitting .277 with a 1015 OPS, 13 extra base hits. 9 of those are home runs. So
I have never understood why hitters, I've never understood this, how you do not implement and emphasize an eye training program. It has boggled my mind to the point where I haven't really talked about it, because for me, it seems like one of the steps you can take to help crack the code. And the reason I say this is because I have listened to multiple Hall of Famers explain to me in great detail their eye training regimens and how it impacted them, how it helped them, how they were able to then start to assess not only pitchers, but the baseball in flight. And I don't know, man. If I had the ability, if training my eyeballs to watch a swing and be able to dissect like where you were going to be missing consistently was something I could do, I would want to train my eyes to do that. I don't know how that would correlate as a pitcher to the hitter, but from the hitter to pitcher perspective, if you can train your eyeballs and strengthen your eyeballs to track this baseball from the very moment you see it to the moment it gets into the hitting zone, that's just another tool you have in your box to compete with the guys that you're competing against on the mound. And it's another way that you can separate yourself from the pack of individuals who are just as carnivorous as you are, looking for anything that they can do to get to the mountaintop. How has there not been an emphasis on this? I mean, Edgar Martinez was doing this shit 30 years ago.
I don't mean to sound like a copycat, but you basically stole my take. I don't understand how Major League Baseball players or professional athletes in general, yours is more specific. I don't understand how we're this deep into a season or a career and we're just getting eye examinations. To me, at the very least, this should be done at spring training or as part of your onboarding process every year. Like I'm sure I'm not on record on the podcast. I am right there with you. I don't understand. This is a $1 billion enterprise, and Max Muncy's getting his eyes fixed in the middle of the season while throwing away 100 plate appearances that didn't necessarily need to be treated that way. I don't understand. And this is
what
the
about
Dodgers.
Kike?
This isn't like
what about
the Marlins.
Kike? Didn't Kike go through the same shit? Like ready to get released?
Yeah,
Oh shit! I got something in my eye, and now fuck, I got it out of my eye, and now I'm better.
And to their credit, I mean, I guess the Dodgers are solving these issues. For all we know, this could be going on with players in all sorts of organizations, and they're just fucking cast aside because nobody's testing, nobody's correcting. So, like, I'm not trying to be critical of the Dodgers. Dallas, I don't mean to cut this conversation off. Dallas, Jared, can you hit the breaking news? I don't.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it just gets worse. Multiple reporters are saying that the Angels and Red Sox, the Red Sox coaching staff is getting in fights on the field, arguments on the field with the Angels coaching staff. Yep, there was a kerfuffle.
Who's reporting this?
First base coach Jose Flores getting into it with multiple Angels players and coaches pregame. Oh boy, Cora went to talk with Tyler Anderson following the altercation. Everybody's got it. Nesson's got it now. Everybody's got it. It's a lot of, tough guy, hold me back, waving hands. You go over there. I'll go over here. No, you go over there. That sort of stuff. Finger pointing, very angry finger pointing. Is this what gets him going? I think is my question. Is Jose Flores going to be the guy that we look back on as the igniter?
Oh, I'm watching it. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's go.
Honestly, I am shocked that Nesson is who put this out because the Red Sox own Nesson. And I would imagine the Red Sox wouldn't want something like this getting out, but maybe Nesson was like, fuck you, we're putting it out. Like, this is good shit, brother.
Oh, my boy, Barry. Get Barry heated. Let's go. Let's go.
Who?
Get the fucking 209er fired up. Come on with it. Yeah. Come on, Red. Come on, Red.
Who? Who's
Barry Enright.
Barry Enright, the pitching coach who's telling come on, hey, you fuck cross that line, pal. Go ahead. I don't know who that dude is. I don't know who's
great.
Who was that Red Sox coach that was yelling at him?
Jose Flores.
Yeah, he's the first base coach.
Come on with it, Joe Flo.
Enright versus Flores.
Yeah, that's gonna be a quick one.
Oh,
what is going on right now?
But at the very end of this thing, I'm watching Anderson and Cora gloss it over
a matcha.
Yeah.
Such a bougie. I mean, that's where we're at. Like we're you want to roll him up? You want to get after it,
baby?
You want to get after it? Hold on, let me finish this smoke and then we can hold on. Oh yeah, and the wave off. Who is that? Is that Tech?
No.
In the blue cutoff?
No, I think that's Ramon Vasquez.
Because the coach in the blue cutoff with the fungo is just kind of waving him off, right? Like yeah, and
that's Ramon. Yeah, the players are coming over. Like I can see David Hamilton, I see Christian Campbell, I see Bernardino. Carlos Fablis, I forgot, is with the Angels now. So Carlos is late to the party, but he's walking out. He's probably going to try and play peacemaker at some point because he was Red Sox third base coach for quite some time. I think he went from Boston to Toronto and then Toronto to Anaheim. So, man, tensions are hot now. You know, this is not a night game. This is a 1:35 start for these two teams. So it's not like they can wait 6-7 hours for tensions to cool down. They're going right into it after this. Yep. Max just texted me and said, "What's going on here?" I'm gonna ask Max what the fuck's going on. What's going on here? Every time I call him, something weird's going on with his
Your
phone.
call has been.
It didn't even ring. Like, is he on like fucking do not disturb or something? I don't know, but our guy Connor, where the fuck you at, Connor? Let's talk some college ball. There he is. There he is.
What up?
Texas Rangers fan, Dinger Derby champ, baseball is dead social king, and college baseball aficionado. All right, here's how this is gonna go, man. Because Dallas obviously has a background. He played at college ball. I wanted to. I would rather have worked. I was like, I don't want to play. Like, what's the point of playing college ball if I'm just gonna go the podcasting route? Like, there's more longevity, more money in it than big league ball. So I guess my background is different, but I do consume, I do watch, I do pay attention. Obviously, in a week or two, I think it's 2 weeks from now, I'll be going to Arizona for the MLB Network MLB Draft Combine, where I interview different players that will be going in the first round. For the Jay Willie, I got to Jay Willie before Dallas did. He was a guy that I talked to out there. So there's high school kids, there's college kids. Here's where I'm going to start. Where should my focus be, Connor? Like, in terms of the teams, like where? All right, let's dumb it down even more. Where are we at in the college baseball season? We're about are we in playoffs right now? Like, what's happening in the college baseball scene right now?
Oh, yeah. So last weekend was the regionals, and that's the opening round of the NCAA tournament. So like the field of 64. And now this upcoming weekend, we are going to the super regionals. So in a regional, there's 4 teams. Only one team can walk out of there. And then they go down to 16. So it immediately goes from 64 to 16. And then the winner of these super regionals go to Omaha.
So 16 teams go to Omaha.
8 teams.
8 teams go to Omaha. Okay. See, we're learning. Who are the teams that like we should be focused on? Is it like the usual suspects? Like, we're talking like LSU? Or are we talking fucking
No.
Texas?
No.
Who
Connor,
are we talking?
Connor, you're here for a reason. I'll let you tell him.
There are some usual suspects. LSU is going. We'll get to some players for them later. But we got Tennessee going, national champions last year. We got Arkansas going. We got North Carolina, Oregon State, Florida State. We have some definite blue bloods in here. But we also have some people who haven't been here in a while. West Virginia is coming. Murray State is coming. And the University of Texas, San Antonio.
UTSA, Connor. UTSA. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's my like America's team pick. Like, I would not be mad if UTSA won. Coastal Carolina is also going, and they, won a national championship in 16. But they're still. I was there.
I was there for that, and those boys, brother, those boys were some dogs.
They're
some
different.
Absolute dogs. I went into that locker room. I actually was. I was there talking shit to about another team with a team. Firing them up. That was a lot of fun. And then got to meet some of the boys from Coastal and was like, brother, you got a fan for life. Like, I fucking love everything about those dudes. Everything. That was a lot of fun to watch. But the fucking Murray State, bro, the UTSA, like I'm as excited for those teams to be there, those programs to be there as any of the other, top tier programs that are also going to be in Omaha.
Right. And UTSA, it's not like, this is a Cinderella story. Like, they won like 40 games and they beat Texas 3 times this year, including twice in a regional. Like, they're not like, UTSA is on a crazy run. No, they're just a good team.
They're good. Yeah.
Coastal Carolina, I want to say they were, when I was tweeting college highlights all the time, they were one of like the more up to date, like had a ton of content that they were pumping out for their baseball team. So, all right. Now we get to like the players. Like, when I was super locked in, I obviously knew who Skenes was, Tommy Tanks, Like these are all dudes that ended up being popular names once draft time came around. Who are some of these guys that will be involved in this tournament, hopefully going to Omaha, and then we're talking first round draft picks in the end?
So I looked up who's kind of projected in the top 20 and who's also playing in these super regionals. And a lot of these guys were the same players that were there in the beginning of the season. Like they've still had crazy good seasons. They're still projected. First guy, Jamie Arnold, lefty from Florida State. He's got a 3.12 ERA, 110 Ks to 26 walks, and he's a lot of Chris Sale. Like he's throwing from here. So have fun. He pitched against Mississippi State in this regional, 13 Ks against them. He also tops out at 95.
Oh.
Going to Arkansas, shortstop Wahiwa Aloy. He's Hawaiian. Hit 334 this year, 1126 OPS, 20 pumps. He hits 3. His brother Kuhio hits 4, and his brother hit 335. It's 1-2 punch. They're nasty.
Oh, let's go.
They hit 3 and 4 in the same lineup?
Yeah.
Damn. Are they big?
Ohtani's never done that.
Yeah, that's true. How big are they?
They're not like crazy big. They're just like super twitchy.
They're
like,
I was going to say ball players, bro. That's how I like one of the, keep going. I love Hawaiian players. Keep going.
Next guy, I sent you this guy, Liam Doyle at Tennessee. Yeah. This guy's crazy. Also left-handed pitcher. He kind of throws a little bit from like up here. He doesn't drop all. Yeah, he tops 100, and he's got a 2.84 ERA, 158 strikeouts to 30 walks. It throws a slider at 90, which is an absolute wipeout, and the curveball's at 85.
Didn't he just get ran? Isn't he the one that got ran the other day?
I don't think he got ran. I think he is just like, here's 100. You're not going to touch it. So,
well, jumping off the mound, like because the last pitch I saw him throw was fucking 99, right? Just a complete undressing of some fucking, I don't know, future car salesman. Like it was just bad.
Yeah, he's crazy. Bad. And then last guy is Cade Anderson at LSU, left-handed pitcher. Mm-hmm. 3.48 ERA, a little bit higher, but also 156 Ks to 26 walks. Like this is stuff that's absolutely disgusting. And they've also got a freshman, Kason Evans. He struck out 8 in a row the other night against Little Rock in a winner go home, and they won. And that 1-2 is going to be gross. Because these super regionals, it's a 3-game set. Like, it's a 3-game series. So, win 2, you're in. Split, you still have to play on Sunday. And they're at home sites too. They're not at neutral sites. So the higher
neutral sites.
And it is, they're all at home, and it's crazy atmosphere.
But you have home teams that are on the road, yeah?
Yeah, so it goes, I want to say home, away, home. Like they don't get a home advantage the whole time now.
Right. Yeah. Which is always bizarre, but like it is what it is. Okay, so then how soon will the field be narrowed down?
So game 1 for everyone should be Friday. Game 2 Saturday, if necessary. Game 3 Sunday. We will know everyone in Omaha, barring like weather delays, by Sunday night.
Oh wow! So we'll be down to 8 teams by Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And all this shit. I mean, this is not like an ad. All this, like, these should be on ESPN Plus, right?
They should all be on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
If
ESPN
not regular
Plus.
ESPN.
Yeah. They'll be prime time. They'll be prime. Absolutely. Like 1 and 2. ESPN 1 and 2 will probably be featuring a game.
Yeah.
Multiple games.
Yeah. I mean, that was the only reason why I had ESPN Plus. Like, I wasn't doing like UFC or anything. I had ESPN Plus because I was able to watch any college baseball that I wanted to. They even had like, there was like D2 and D3 teams that like they would have like a fucking GoPro from atop like the cage behind home plate. That it's just, the dogs. Like they would just have like these GoPros that you're not getting a broadcast. You're not getting camera changes. It's just like, hey, you want to see the game? It's basically like you're Spider-Man just sitting on top of the fucking fence and you can watch the game.
One fixed camera.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. who else? Who's like the trying to think of like who are some of the players that maybe aren't like the draft guys, but it's like, yeah, like I'm paying attention to him because he's going off or he has like personality or whatever.
I would say look for a bunch of those guys on UTSA, Coastal Carolina, West Virginia. Like these schools aren't like, they're not Miami level history. They're not Oregon State. Like, Oregon State's got Stephen Kwan, Bazana, Rutschman. Like go down the list of all these guys that have come from all these schools. So those are going to be the guys that it's going to really impact their draft stock or their pro stock at all. Because some of these guys might be, fourth years, fifth years. Like MLB scouts have been like, well, we never heard of you. Now you're 23. Well, brother, like I'm going to Omaha and I'm hitting jacks. Like,
yeah,
you can't tell me I don't play pro ball. I can't play pro ball.
Yeah. Who's like the spiciest team? Who's like the team where it's like,
Tennessee.
we're not. Is it Tennessee?
Absolutely.
Tennessee.
Tony V and them boys, they've got a whole, have you, like, Jared, if you've watched those Tennessee games, dude, and if you've seen shots of the crowd, if you have just like the energy from the dugout, from the crowd, the crowd is an extension of the dugout, and the dugout is it's a fucking circus.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've Tennessee, at least in recent history, like the last like 3-4 years, like they've become like the school where they're all blowing 95 plus. Like they've become the arm barn of the NCAA. Are they still that?
Definitely. Like this guy Liam Doyle, blowing 99, 100, and you've got guys coming from Tennessee like Chase Burns before he went to Wake throwing 100. You got Ben Joyce. You got Crochet. You got all these guys that are just absolute arms. And what I like about Tennessee is Tony Vitello, he kind of just lets his players play. Like he's got a really long leash on, like how you want to play the game. But I don't know if y'all saw this clip of the Wake Forest coach saying some choice words.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this guy hits a pump and he's basically like side shuffling all the way around the bases. And he's going over to their dugout and he's screaming at him. Like, if you can do that at that level, do it. Like, play how you want to play and like make baseball fun. They make baseball fun because they love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Where they kind of lost me, obviously, I'm back in if you're hyping it up to the point where like I'm interested again. But they lost me when they started policing like the bat flips and all that. Because the bat flips, like they were unbelievable, like that you couldn't see that in the big leagues, but now like
some kid just got ejected for, so like part of their celebration is the hard hat, right? You hit a homer, you put a hard hat on.
Yeah.
And the kid behind him either hit a homer or like a double or whatever. Somebody came around to score. So the kid who had the helmet on doesn't even have time to take it off. Like he took it off and like got back to the front of the dugout to celebrate and high five. He's out in front of the dugout. They fucking ejected him.
Yeah. So the NCAA should be looking at people like me as their, I guess, data. Like if you're trying to attract new fans instead of just like, keeping the existing fans happy. If you want to grow your audience, I am someone who obviously did not go to a big D1 school, didn't play D1 college baseball, but I love baseball. And from 2020 or like 2019 through 2022-ish, I was very into college baseball. And it was because they were allowed to act in a way that we don't get to see. It's why the banana ball is so popular. It's because like it's the crux of it is baseball, but we get to see it in a way that we don't normally get to see it. And college baseball, D1 college baseball, it was like, I'm getting to see very competitive baseball during a time of the year where I don't give a fuck. I don't give two flying fucks about spring training baseball. I don't care. Like Tyler Milliken will sit there and watch it all day long. I don't give a fuck. But I would watch college baseball because these guys are fighting for their playoff lives and they're trying to show out for scouts and get attention, hopefully get drafted and continue their baseball playing lives beyond college ball. And they were having fun. They were able to demonstrate how much fun that they were having in a way that you're not going to see in the big leagues. I think even now, like this recent wave of like the dugout celebrations, how like, you know, the Angels had like the samurai, and then the Detroit Tigers had like the pizza stick and the trident and all that shit. Like, I feel like that derived or originated from college ball. Like the hammer, was that Virginia Tech had the hammer?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like all that shit was like, this is awesome. It's competitive. Everyone is super into it. They're all fired up in a way where, you know, it's more, not in a bad way, but it's more professional in Major League Baseball, because these guys have 162 games. These other dudes in college, it might be March and they're screaming coming off the mound after a big strikeout, because they're kids, and they took the entertainment value, and that's why I kind of fell off. They took away the hammer. You can't pimp home runs. You can't flip your bat. If you hit a home run and you stare at it out of the batter's box for too long, the umpire will physically come out of his crouch and push you up the first baseline to guide you to first base. I don't know. It's bullshit. I think if you are the NCAA, you should want more people to be watching your games that don't have a particular school to root for. They just are a fan of the game and want to get invested in college baseball. You had me. Like, you absolutely hooked me, and then you told me to fuck off. All the reasons why I loved it, you kind of took away from me.
But you gotta find a balance, man. You gotta find a balance. I can fully appreciate the excitement and the energy that comes along with getting a big hit, getting a big punch out in a big moment on a big stage. I can appreciate that. But Connor, let's go back to the player who I think it was, Texas, who they're getting their absolute ass beat, down by like 7, 8, 9 or whatever it is. He works a walk and is like pumped up, yelling, screaming, jumping and shit on his way down to first base. And it's like, buddy, like have some feel for the moment right now. And if you don't have any feel for the moment, it feels like being excited and trying to rally my team and blah, blah, blah. It feels like that's now becoming an excuse or a crutch for not having any feel, for not knowing that in certain moments, you just need to shut up. You just need to shut up and play the game in certain moments. So I can respect and I appreciate the excitement and the energy that surrounds it. But, and this is an old man yelling at the cloud take here, and I don't give a shit. There's a certain level of respect that you need to have for the game itself. And I'm not talking about the fans watching the game. I'm not talking about your opponents. I'm talking about the game of baseball. Respecting what is required to succeed at this game, respecting how hard it is to succeed in this game. And that doesn't mean that when you finally work a walk, when your team's getting their ass kicked, that you start this big demonstrative moment. No, reel it in, get your ass down to first, and shut up. Keep the line moving. Have you ever heard of don't wake a sleeping dog, don't kick a sleeping dog? Like, that's the kind of shit, like just don't. And so some of the stuff that we've seen in college baseball, I understand that it's about rallying the boys and playing with energy. The other side of it, if you're going to get to the upper levels, you're at some point in time, you're going to have that conversation with somebody who's trying to get you to understand that the respect for the game is something that you always need to keep in the forefront of your mind.
I definitely agree. The thing that's different about college baseball and like pro ball, college baseball games can implode like that. Like 9-2, like a 7-run lead, 6 batters later is, we're one guy away from blowing this thing open the other way. Like, it's, so I get why, like, they do that. I agree. Have some feel, but like 1 walk, 2 walks, buddy, we're right back in it.
Mm-hmm.
A follow-up. Remember how I said, I can't believe Nesson put this out?
Mm-hmm.
They deleted it. Yep. So,
well, it's out there.
I mean, I hope someone saved it, but that is yeah. It's not surprise. I'm surprised they put it out, and I'm not surprised that they deleted it. But people are going to be like, bad look for doing that. Bad look for deleting it, not for putting it out. But that's a quick, like, someone with the Red Sox was like, "What the fuck, Nesson?" And yeah, that's gonna be an interesting conversation.
Oh yeah.
Whew. All right, Connor. We appreciate it. And let's get you back on Monday.
Hold on. Before he goes, do you have a favorite? Who's your dog?
To win the whole thing, I want to say Arkansas. That's my pick. My brother goes there, so I'm a little biased, but like Arkansas is a solid squad, been like top 5 all year. They can bang. So that's my top pick.
Arkansas. All right.
All right. We'll get you back on Monday to talk about the final 8, the teams that are going to Omaha. I'm back in. I care again. I'm still upset about the changes, but we'll see. It's still competitive ball, so we still root for the boys. Thank you, Connor.
Deuces.
Talk to you Monday. All right. Before we hit final thoughts and nugs, I agree with the individual who tweeted us this morning, Jayhay, that we need to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays and kind of just like get a feel for like where are we at on the Rays in terms of are we taking them seriously enough to recognize them as a potential threat to do anything this year. They are in second place. They do have a very respectable plus 45 run differential. They're 3 games over 500. So I struggle to point to them and be like, here come the Rays. You know, it's like, well, yeah, they're okay. They're fine. Like they should be respected. They should be respected. I don't think anyone's sitting here being like bad team or not good enough. They could get in the playoffs, but it is just such a fucking weak ass, which is why I'm so mad about the Red Sox. I don't want to make this about the Red Sox, but it's such a weak ass American League that, you know, here come the Tampa Bay Rays. Like that's the conversation we're having. But as far as who can we compare them to? The Twins? Are they in Twins territory? On that same team?
Yeah, unfortunately the Twins just dealt a tough blow. Pablo Lopez left the ball game last night with some shoulder discomfort, and I hate hearing that. And I know Twins fans hate hearing that. So, I mean, that's gonna shift things a little bit in their landscape. But I mean, look, they've got arms that have been throwing the ball. I mean, the way that Drew Rasmussen has pitched, I mean, quietly one of the best seasons in baseball right now. Very quiet. I mean, he's fucking dealing. And I don't know I haven't looked at where Taj Bradley is and who Pepio. But I mean, I from last time I checked, both those guys pitching well. So as far as your starting rotation goes, you've got 2-3 options. I mean, 3 options that are doing work. And I think why am I blanking on the other guy? Littell. Right?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. I think he's do they
People
have
were
a guy
talking about him as a trade piece. It's like he's helping them out big. McClanahan will be back next month.
Yes, and I was going to say do they have a guy with a fucking ERA over 4 in their rotation?
Yes. Hold on.
Who was the last guy that I'm blanking on?
I mean, Boz is in the rotation.
That's who.
Yeah,
no, I didn't say Boz, did I?
No, you didn't.
Where's he at? Doesn't he have like a? I guess
he's at a.
Look it up here, but
he's
one
at
of them
4.9. Yeah, he's 4.92.
Okay, all right. Because I thought I remember looking at Bradley and and seeing that they were close numbers wise. Littell was it Bradley and Littell? Bradley and Rasmussen, not Rasmussen because he's fucking at like a 2.5 or whatever.
But if Shane Baz, like with his upside that I think we all know, like probably still exists on some level, being your 5th best starting pitcher, like to Jared's question, I think it's part about the environment that they play in, that the AL is so muddled after, I guess we'll call them the top two teams so far in the Tigers and the Yankees. I think we could be having similar conversations about a variety of teams as the season goes along. Like, I think, we talked about the Twins. We're talking about the Rays. I think that's a conversation that will apply to a lot of teams. I do think that the Rays have some things going for them that a lot of those other teams might not. Like, I do think their starting pitching, even if they don't maintain this current pace, is legitimately more interesting than most of the other teams. And that's even with McClanahan, a July return or whatever Neander said the other day. The in-house guys are a lot more interesting than the other muddled mass to me. And I think, in terms of guys coming on, Junior Caminero is playing, about as well as a guy can play over a very small sample of games. I think it's, he's got like a 1,500 OPS over since May 23rd, which again, very small sample, but we're also talking about a 21-year-old who, could take that massive leap forward. 14-12 OPS is what it is over those 11 games. So yeah, I think they are a viable third best team in the league. I just don't know what that mantle means right now.
Yeah, well, I think if you get Shane McClanahan back and he pitches well, I think that's a huge shot in the arm. Huge shot.
You get an ace.
Yeah, he's one of the 5 best pitchers in the AL when he pitches, right?
Yeah. So I mean, you get him back, and who? Fucking. Let me look this up. I'm tired of fucking going back into my memory.
What are you talking about, dude?
Offense. Fucking Aranda. That dude's been swinging it.
Yep.
Right? How many homers? Does he have 10 homers?
I mean, Brandon Lau's been the red hot one lately, other than Caminero too. I know his overall season stats aren't all that impressive. Lau's, that is, but a lot of bombs.
All right. Jayhay, do you have any juicy, tasty nugs for us today?
I do. So I mentioned that Skenes was the first pitcher since Pedro in 2000 to have one of those 8+ starts and lose twice in a season. The other pitchers to ever do that, other than Pedro and Skenes, are Mike Scott in 1986, Jim Bunning in 1967, Mike Prendergrass in 1914, Walter Johnson in 1913, and Ed Walsh in 1910. So decent chance you're going to the Hall of Fame if something like this happens to you. Spencer Strider, the news, probably on the whole, maybe the most discouraging start overall, because I think people kind of still expected a corner turn. And I think, at least reading the tea leaves on twitter.com, feels like maybe the pessimism is a lot higher now. He threw 22 four-seamers yesterday, generated exactly 1 swing and miss on those 22. His four-seam fastball velocity and whiff rate by season. Again, the miles an hour, I won't repeat that, but he's down 3 full miles an hour since 22. The whiff rate with the four-seamer has gone from 27 to 28% pre-injury to 14% since he's returned. So huge issue there. Obviously something to continue to monitor. Also worth noting, his overall strikeout rate has dropped from 38 to 36 to 28 to now 23.2% so far this year. So not getting, he's known for the swing and misses. He's just not getting those. Corbin Carroll is through exactly 60 games in the season. He is the first player in Major League Baseball history to have 18 homers, 6 triples, and 10 stolen bases through 60 games of a season. So if you're playing fantasy, real life, he's a borderline MVP candidate. But if you're playing fantasy sports, Corbin Carroll delivering potentially a counting stat season for the ages here. We'll see how it goes. The Pirates, to go back to Skenes, they have now been shut out 10 times in 61 games. The last NL team to be shut out more times through the first 61 games, that includes yesterday, first 61 games of a season, was the Pirates themselves back in 1954. They were shut out 12 times in 61 games. Skenes, follow me here. NL pitchers, 7-start stretch in a single season. 1.80 ERA or below, no more than 1 win, and at least 4 losses in that 7-start stretch the last 40 years. Steve Carlton in 1985, Randy Johnson in 1999, and Paul Skenes this season. You brought up Drew Rasmussen. We had a nug ready for him as well, so same page. 7th AL pitcher in the wild card era to have a 4-start scoreless stretch with 4 wins. Minimum 23 innings pitched, which is the number of innings pitched that Rasmussen has pitched. The other people to do that, again, AL wild card era, Michael Fulmer in 16, so he's the first person to do it in 9 years. Kenny Rogers, 2005. Johan in 2004. Corey Lytle in 2002. Pedro Martinez in 2002. And Kenny Rogers again in 1995. So Kenny Rogers did this twice over a decade apart. So kind of cool there. The Jacob Lopez, probably not the sort of nug he wanted to find himself in, but I cover everything. Andrew Heaney, James Paxton, and Masahiro Tanaka are the only other pitchers, along with Lopez, in MLB history to have an outing of fewer than 5 innings pitched with 9 or more strikeouts, 1 or 0 walks, and 3 homers allowed. So if you like 3 true outcomes, Jacob Lopez's outing yesterday was the one for you. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of homers allowed, threw in 1 walk. Breaking news on the pod, not as big as the Red Sox coaching staff fighting with the Angels, but Lamont Wade Jr. was released.
Wow.
Yeah. Designated for assignment by the Giants. Buster Posey doing a lot of shakeups. There were 220 batters with at least 150 plate appearances this year. He ranked last in batting average, 213th in OPS, tied for 218th in FWAR and 218th in BABIP as well. So he also has suffered the single largest year-over-year decrease in bat speed from 2024 to 2025 of any Major League Baseball player qualified, down 2.7 miles per hour from where it was last year. And my nug du jour, it's nug of the day. We brought it up earlier. I think, Jared, correct me if I'm wrong. You said that Clayton Kershaw was kind of in his Dallas Braden phase. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not what anybody wants. Not what anybody wants to hear.
No.
It just so turns out Clayton Kershaw's OPS allowed this year in year 18, 838.
Ooh.
Dallas Braden's OPS allowed in year 1, 839.
Ooh.
That was a tough, but Jayhay, if you eliminate all of the other starts that I made that year outside of the first one, what do those numbers look like, huh?
No.
We didn't eliminate the first one for this exercise, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
reference is down. It sucks, man. I can't. Yeah, the math is too hard to do in my head. I don't even want to try. But those are the nugs.
Better.
Thank you, Justin Havens. Dallas, any final thoughts today?
Yeah. Shout out. And if you guys be so inclined to get your damn guns up and wreck 'em tech! Wreck 'em tech, because the Lady Red Raiders are going to the dance. All on the arm of Jayhay Nuggs, who is an absolute beast, a dynamo. This young lady has been shoving all season, her whole career. Since the first time she stepped onto a softball diamond, she's been dominating, hasn't stopped. This is the young lady who famously left the West Coast, left Stanford, and said, I've heard about a little place out in West Texas they call Lubbock. What's going on out there? Well, $1 million plus NIL deal is also what was going on out there. But I'll tell you what's been going on since she showed up, buddy. 32-5, 0.86 ERA. She has thrown every single pitch in Oklahoma City for the Red Raiders. That hasn't been done since Rachel Garcia back in 2019 for UCLA.
I'll check that for the next podcast. People.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
She is an absolute fucking animal. And let's not forget about Alexa Langoliers. That's right. Younger sister of Shay Langoliers, who I mean, bro, she's fucking ridiculous. And Shay has been telling anybody who will listen, like, bro, she's the better athlete. Like, she's just better. She's really good. She's she plays shortstop. She's a fucking baller. She bangs. It's been an absolute show. It's been a treat to watch. I've been following. And you know what I do? Because my partner was he was recording me watch the game, the last out, and we do have footage of me watching them hit a home run. They brought OU. They brought their reign to an end.
Wow.
Oklahoma had been like a mainstay in the Women's College World Series. Just a main, like the road goes through OU. And well, not this year, pal. Not this year. It's going through Lubbock. So just a shout out to Jayhay and the work that her and the Lady Raiders have done.
Jayhay?
My final thought is that I hope that video that Dallas shot isn't used without the express written consent, because that would be a violation. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't use that for your own benefit. Yeah,
Can't do that.
My final thought is that I know people hate the coast bias that happens on national broadcasts, and when it's always Yankees, Red Sox, it's always Dodgers, it's always this and that. Worth noting that those matchups are chosen for a reason, and for the second time this season already, Sunday Night Baseball set a viewership record in 7 years. So the highest rating earlier this season since 2018 was Mets-Yankees, and then Dodgers-Yankees drew an even bigger audience this past Sunday, largest viewing audience since 2018. So the reason those are selected is because people tune in. And and feud tomorrow. That's my other final thought.
Yeah, family feud tomorrow. My final thought: the boys are on Cameo officially. So you want to dial up your boy DB. You want to dial up Jayhay, the Nug Chef, to cook you up something nice, so that you can win your argument and call in the National Guard. Basically, you can do that now with Cameo. I got some time set aside today to actually fulfill some Cameo requests. See, you already have more than I know that I've received. So Jayhay,
I've got some real research to do today.
Yeah, like, so if you want Jay, I saw one of the requests, which I very much can't wait to see the results of it. Very excited for that one. But I think if you search Baseball is Dead on Cameo, you'll get DB, Jayhay, Jake, and myself. So, yeah, I mean, that's, supporting the boys, and most of them are, like, from what I've told, most of them are gifts. So, Father's Day coming up, give the gift of Dallas's gross face and those tasty nugs from Justin Havens. All right, that's all for me. We'll be back tomorrow with Family Feud. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll be back tomorrow. Very excited for that. Did we win last week? No.
Well, remember,
but more fuckery once again.
Yeah, we got fucked.
Well, we may have a special guest to help answer for that fuckery.
I'm sorry?
On the pod tomorrow.
Oh, we're gonna have a moment of accountability.
Might have a special guest.
Interesting. Okay.
That'd be the first time.
Yep.
All right. We'll
I'll
see
have
about
to confirm that with Jake, but
all right. We'll see then.